Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine on it.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
All right, it's time for another week of N4G Radio. This is episode 634 for January 4th, 2021. We finally made it. Looks like we made it.
This is where the real Dark Souls begins.
2021 is just New Game Plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just 2020 plus. Yeah.
Yep, New Game Plus. On the show this week, we have the Wombat,
Yes, sir.
we have Drew,
Yes.
and we have Anthony.
I'm not ready for the new game plus.
2021. Holy shit. We made it. Everything is fine now, right? Magically at 12:01, everything was cool?
The pandemic ended. I
all worked
cannot
out.
believe it.
Yo, everybody
I
just...
know this because everybody in my home state has just went out and just, celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I went out to get some to-go food and drove past a couple restaurants, and they were packed inside. And nothing is sillier than driving past or going past the Cracker Barrel and seeing on the restaurant side of the Cracker Barrel packed tables of people with no masks, and on the non-restaurant side a whole bunch of people standing around wearing masks.
Boy,
Isn't the majority of the patrons of Cracker Barrel like 70 plus?
Well, maybe no, not around here at least.
That's
Cracker-
Applebee's, man.
That's the Cracker Bargle, man. Come on.
the Cracker Bargle?
Yeah, that's a Reddit joke of old people of Facebook.
Is that what you call
And-
a grouping of old people as a bargle?
A bargle, Cracker Bargle. It's a Cracker Bargle of old people.
I apologize.
Alright.
Anyway, I ruined your joke.
Well,
Cracker Barrel. Yeah, no, I agree, Ryan. It's
You know,
I think we're going to see the biggest influx. I mean, we had the biggest influx in December. I think we're going to see the biggest influx in January.
I mean, I'm the odd man out. Like I live in Georgia, and I live in
Georgia?
I live in the rural parts of Georgia, and I am most certainly the odd man out because me and my wife are walking around a grocery store with masks on, and everybody's looking at us like, "Look at these idiots."
Yeah, look at
And
these
I'm just
idiots
like-
that are going to live and not get sick. That's crazy.
Well, that's the thing, and I don't want to throw this out there because I wearing a mask should not be a political statement. It should not,
it should not.
but it became one.
Sure.
And I'll tell you this: when I walk around with a mask on, it is me protecting you from anything that I may potentially have. If you walk around without a mask on, you're saying to everybody around you, I don't care what I give you.
Yeah.
So why be that person?
I mean, it's clear and obvious, but, we won't get into that conversation.
Why be that person? Because it's their God-given right as an American citizen to be an asshole.
To spread the coronavirus?
I mean, they're
To
just
which-
trying to
to which
share
they-
it with you, Drew.
To which they say, this is the biggest hoax that has ever been in the United States history.
I've never seen a hoax kill more people.
That's the flu that's killing them, Ken. There's always something that they'll throw back at you. And I say this from experience because I've had these conversations with people, not only at work, but in the outside world of Georgia. And I'm just like, I can't reason with you because you have an answer for everything. You were doing way more work. It is so much hard work to get out of working. That's what it is.
The American way.
I mean, if you just put a mask on, well, I can't breathe with a mask on. Well, I can tell you this. I work 8 hours a day, upwards to 9 to 10 hours a day, and I wear a mask the entire time.
You know why you don't have any issues is because you're consciously, aware of your breathing.
Yeah.
I have to remind
And we're
myself to
full
breathe.
circle.
Yep.
Congratulations. I made a callback to the joke.
I watched a man in a public place the other day remove his mask to sneeze
To sneeze. Yeah, I've seen that.
and then wipe his nose with a handkerchief and his, hand, and then just go about touching things like it was nothing without having used hand sanitizer or washed his hands or anything. And even if there wasn't a virus going around, it's like, dude, that's gross.
Yeah, that's
That's freaking gross.
Nobody wants to touch anything that your sneezy hand's been all over.
Oh shit.
I say that with people too. I actually asked, it was a coworker of mine, pulled his mask down to sneeze into his arm. And I was like, dude, you're wearing a mask. He's like, yeah, but I don't want to have that sneeze all in my face for the rest of the day. I was like, well, the whole point of the mask is to catch the sneeze.
Well,
We have a bright future going on.
oh, and then the best part of this guy, I forgot, was that after he sneezed into his handkerchief and also into his hand, he then proceeded to walk over and rub his wife's shoulders.
I'm not saying I'm for violence, but if you had pulled out a gun and shot him in the face, I wouldn't be hating you.
Well, it's America, so
I mean, you've been
Just
within
one of
your
those
God-given
things where
right.
it's just one of those things where it's like, if you did it and everybody saw what he did, I think no one would be an argument. Jesus Christ.
I mean, if nothing else, this pandemic has brought out people's true intentions. That's for sure. Kind of crazy. But anyways, 2021, all that shit's gone. It's magically disappeared.
Yep. Now I don't have to worry about it anymore.
No, you can go out and lick the salad bar now, Drew. It's fine.
Why am I still doing temperature checks at work? Why am I still waking up at 4 a.m. then?
I don't know. Clearly, your company hasn't got the memo.
government.
We
Government.
really need to. Somebody needs to call my company and tell them that the pandemic is over.
Yeah, it's
because
over.
I'm sick of waking up at 4 a.m.
Anyway, this is a show about video
Wait,
games.
You're sick?
No, don't be
Oh God,
sick.
Drew's got it.
You gotta go into quarantine for 14 days.
You know what? That'd be the first freaking vacation I had in 15 years.
But you can't afford it because you know healthcare.
That's true.
Welcome to America.
If only I had Affleck.
That's not okay.
But I can't
If you
afford
get work,
Affleck.
if you get hurt and can't work, they'll pay you not to work.
They pay you
I
cash.
can't get money from a duck.
I mean, who doesn't want to get money from a duck?
I do.
I want to get money from a duck.
I want to get money from Scrooge McDuck.
Hell yeah, he ain't gonna
He's
give
got
it to you.
he's got all the money.
He ain't gonna give it to you though.
That's true. Well, he probably can't now because Ducktales got canceled. So.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The
it
new
got,
one?
it got canceled, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben
Damn.
Schwartz tweeted about
Sure did.
it right before New Year's that the show was coming to an end.
Are they giving
they
it
at
like a
least-
final episode?
Yeah, they're gonna finish the season, but
Well, at least that's fucking Disney.
I can't believe that because that was like one of their popular shows,
yeah,
right?
Well,
just wasn't doing the numbers, I guess.
Here, let's make another Star Wars.
I mean, Star Wars gonna sell.
I guess.
It always. I mean, you saw the the talk on the internet about how bad Wonder Woman was, but it made a lot of money, so they already fast-tracked a third one.
Oh, there you go.
So it's not about reception, Drew. It's about money. How that work? Which, by the
I
way,
guess.
Wonder Woman's not a bad movie. It's just not an amazing movie.
Well, it's not as good as the Marvel movie, so let's put that.
I mean, nothing is as good as the Marvel movies, right?
No, because they're Marvel and they're better than DC.
Everything's better. Video games. We can talk about those, though. We're 10 minutes in. We ain't even mentioned a video game yet. We can probably do that now. So, Drew, you want to talk about some video games? You play anything?
Yeah, I've got a few things.
I got one question. What was the first game you booted in 2021?
The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Hell yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Okay. Yeah, that was the first game I played of 2021. Played a decent amount of that. Unfortunately, I am at a standstill with that game.
Uh-oh.
And the reason being is that my 3DS is dead. The battery is dead. And the only charger that I have was chewed up by the cat.
Uh-oh.
So I had to order a new one, and it will not arrive until Monday.
Yeah, well.
I can't play any more Zelda because, well, that's the only place I can play it.
What's funny is I
And-
think there's only one DS in our house, and I think there are 6 chargers laying around.
Yeah, I just so yeah, that's where I'm at. I am going to the Zora domain, but I have not made it there yet, and that's where I stopped. So I like that game a lot.
That's there's a reason why it's, considered one of the best games ever made.
Yeah, it's really good. There is some stuff that I'm just like, how did I figure this out as a kid?
Yeah. Some of those games you go back and you play and you're like, how? What? It's literally just infinite amounts of time and not enough other games to play.
So when you go to meet the Gorons, there's a part where you have to go meet the chief of the Gorons.
Yeah.
He's depressed. He's mad and sad right now. And they say, well, only a song he really likes a song from the forest. And I'm like, all right, well, I know what song that is, but I haven't learned it yet. And I was like, I don't know where to go to get that song. So I then went back to the forest, ran around the village for a little while there, realized I got to go to the Lost Forest, figure all that out. Then I learned the song. Then I return back, and then I continue on with my journey. But, I mean, this game came out, 97?
Well, roughly. 97 or 98.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I thought it was 98.
I think
but
you're right. I
maybe
think
you're
it is
right.
98 because it was the same year as Metal Gear, right?
I think so.
That was a hell of
Okay.
a year.
So I was
98.
probably 12 when I played this.
I mean, that's when you're the best at solving this kind of shit.
Yeah, but I mean, how would I have known to go back to the woods, go through the Lost Woods, listen
Yeah,
to make sure I know where to go?
That's very much a cryptic part of that game where it doesn't really tell you that you have to go and find Surya in the Lost Woods,
Yeah.
and it's in the same place, isn't it, where you end up doing the Forest Temple as an adult?
Yes.
Yeah, like it's very odd.
There's a lot of that
And-
shit if you remember, like the northeast southwest part of Zelda 1.
Yeah,
You gotta
Yeah.
take the specific route to open, what was it, World 5? Or burn a random fucking bush
yeah.
for level 8. Like, just a random
But
ass
I mean,
bush.
like all old NES games were very cryptic. I found, like, there was always something that just didn't make sense. That, like, how would you figure that out?
That's my thing, is going back. I'd never played it before, but going back and playing Earthbound, I don't see how anybody figured that out.
Man, the end of that game
There is stuff in that game that I'm just like, I don't. How did anyone figure this out? And the
Well,
reason
they
why,
gave you a. Sorry.
yeah, they gave you the strategy guide with the
yeah.
game. But yeah, I remember getting the forest song, and that's the only reason why I had to go back to the forest. But the one little off thing of, oh, he really likes the song from the forest, and I'm like, okay, well, nobody I know plays the ocarina in the forest. That I'm just like, how was I supposed to have known that? So I don't know.
You're supposed to know.
Let's see here. What else? Loaded up The Messenger some more on Game Pass.
I love that game.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it's great. It is. I've played it. I've made it deep into that game, but never finished it. And all this is like stuff I remember. Playing The Messenger. I did pick up. So I played some VR yesterday.
Have you ever played VR?
This is the second time I've played VR.
Oh, okay.
So we did a few things. Did Beat Saber, that kind of thing. We had kind of like a
Wait,
little.
Do you have a VR?
No, I was at a friend's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we he showed off Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
I played that in VR. That's creepy as shit in VR.
I've heard it's creepy as shit outside of VR.
And well, that's what ended up happening was I purchased the game and we're going to play it.
Oh, look at you, fancy!
Yeah, that's.
You can switch over to play Among Us on your PC now because it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I know.
Or you can play on your Switch.
Yeah,
that game's
or
only
play on my phone
$5
for free.
Well, that game's only $5 on Switch.
It's currently on sale on PC for like $3.
I guess it's coming to Xbox next year, also on Game Pass.
Yes, they said that it was coming to Xbox.
I will never play that game.
Why?
Because I don't have anybody to play with, and it's not really doesn't really seem like something I would enjoy.
It's fun.
No, I'm sure it is. It's just not my jam.
Okay. But yeah, I played some Phasmophobia. That game is really cool. The controller support for that game is weird. It does have full controller support, but man, is it clunky.
Yeah.
But yeah, played that. Honestly, I've been too busy to play much of anything. Aside from Zelda.
Hey, life could be worse. You're playing one of the best games ever made.
True.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't be upset about that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy with what I'm doing. So we're good.
That's good. All right, is that it?
That's pretty much it. Played a little bit of Overwatch, but not much to even talk about.
Did you get any of the weekly skins?
I got the first one. I got the Junkrat one. I didn't get the Anna one. I got halfway through it, didn't get it. I wanted to get the Roadhog one.
Well, you can still do it today.
I know I can. I know, but good God, when can I get those? Because you have to win games, and I get paired up with idiots.
Oh, I got it. Relatively easy. I only played twice this week, and I got it.
Well, I'm sure I'll try and get it.
It's pretty good skin. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking Frosty the Snowman. Come on.
It looks like bad Mr. Frosty.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. All right. Anthony, we'll move over to you.
All right. Animal Crossing Among Us. I played some Jackbox, the newest one, 7, as well as one of the previous ones. New Jackbox has a great game in it, but and then it's got a new version of Quiplash, but a couple of the others were like clearly something that you shouldn't play online. They're really meant for being in the same room. What else have I played? I'm just going through. I played Link's Awakening on Switch.
Did they ever fix the frame rate in that game?
It's still got issues.
Okay, yeah, it was bad.
It's not terrible, but there's like clearly a drop at times.
It's weird because Nintendo was always so good about getting 60 FPS.
Yeah, and I think it says my version is 1.01 or something like that.
Oh my
1.1.
God. They only updated it one time.
But it came on the cartridge like that. So they've clearly done a reprint with the newer version on it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Nintendo's
Right?
always been good about that kind of stuff too.
But yeah, it's still not great. Like I could tell in the intro when it's zooming up to the egg on the mountain for the like title screen.
Yeah.
It was rough as it showed Marin and Link on the beach. It was fine, but it was like 30 or whatever. And then I went to the clouds, it dipped, and then it went to like 60 frames a second because it was super smooth right after. It was so bizarre. I like that game though. I mean, I think part of it is that I don't really mind the frame rate too much because the original game wasn't like, a powerhouse. So the only thing that's really off-putting about this is that the house theme is really ominous. Like in the original, it's almost like a lullaby. And then they've redone the music and it's missing a note or something. And it seems like a small issue, but it's just like every time I enter a house, I'm like, this is supposed to be nice. And it feels like I'm about to be like up against a battle. But I finished 2 dungeons in there.
When you were talking about Zelda being obscure, that game is really fucking obscure.
I like that. I mean, I was thinking about it yesterday because like somebody on Twitter was saying like something about how many, like what game do you own the most times, and I had to think about it. Not directly to me, but just in general. And then I was like, oh my God, it's Link's Awakening. I own that digitally on the 3DS. I own 3 cartridges for it. The Japanese original for Game Boy, the original Game Boy, and then the DX release. And then I own the Switch version now. I love it. I think the graphics are great, like when it's not, frame ratey. But even the sound design of like when going through the woods, that I can hear the pounding on the chest of the raccoon and stuff. I'm really impressed with the how much is going on in that remake. Before I get to the one I really want to talk about, I needed something just to kind of get my mind off of things, so I popped on a shooter. I don't remember the last time I went through Call of Duty Black Ops, the first one. It's rough to return to some of those games, just because of like it's muddy looking now.
Oh, sure.
So it's like there's a big prison escape in Black Ops. I'm not spoiling anything because at this point, it's a decade old.
I mean, who has ever cried foul about a Call of Duty spoiler?
Somebody that listened to this show did that to me about the new Call of Duty.
Oh my God!
So,
I mean,
yeah.
it's some fucking war
like,
shit. That's what happened.
It was because I said it was like a kid was killed in one scene, and I said they didn't show. Yeah, well, I wonder if he dies.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So, the first sequence through Cuba was fine, but then it's this big Russian prison escape, and it's just chaos. I cannot figure out where I'm getting shot from. Like clearly it's asking me to move into the level, but then I'm getting shot from every direction, but I can't tell where the guys are. And when I look, it's not that I want to say muddy, but it's like everything's such a one color and one shade of that color that it's very hard to see. So I was like, okay. Forgot Gary Oldman's in that. Remember when they used to pay for a lot of
I mean, there've been so many people in those games that I don't remember. Like Kiefer was in one of them.
Gary Oldman's in 2, actually. He's in World at War and then Black Ops.
Kevin Spacey's in one of them too.
Yeah, but we try to forget about that.
Well, yeah.
Isn't he the bad guy? There you go. You can maybe shoot Kevin Spacey. Yeah. So the real game that I spent time with, I had it for review, and I know it's late, but you know what? That allows me to talk about the story in my review, and I'm going to talk about spoilers because not necessarily right now, but Well, I guess I could. Spoiler alert. Hey, Ryan, are you ever going to play Dark Pictures Anthology Little Hope?
No.
All right.
Oh,
we have all
Drew,
played it.
yeah. So if you're gonna spoil this, we should probably make a note.
Do we want to just save it for the end of the podcast so people can skip it?
Yeah, let's do that because
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Drew and I have some comments about that game.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm sure we do. So I will say this. Look, as critical as I'm gonna be, I did not hate my time with that game. I was tired of the jump scares because it's clear to me that they do good horror. Like, I was actually intimidated at times. Like, you would see something watching you from like afar, right? And I was like, that's great. Like, that's tension building. But there's a mechanic where you can kind of see the past in this. And it starts with like a spirit screaming at you and jumping out at you and grabbing the character. And I'm like, that's not horror. That's just like a startle, and it's annoying because it's like they never use the build up to have that moment. When this game is its actual scariest, it's great. Like I started though towards the end of the game to see the cracks where I'm like, nothing's going to happen here. Like, I'm safe right now, so I can explore. And I didn't feel that early on, and so as soon as I felt that, I was like, oh, okay. But like, I don't hate it. If this is the worst game that they've done so far, which from the sounds of it is, although
Yeah.
I've never played their mobile stuff.
Well, I haven't played those, but as far as like their straight horror games, like Drew and I mentioned, it feels like they're going backwards. Like Until Dawn is like the gold standard, and then
Yeah,
Man of Medan is good but not great, and then this one is like, okay.
And I don't know if any of us played Hidden Agenda.
I didn't. I know
too.
Dave did, and he enjoyed it, but he said it wasn't nearly as good as Until Dawn, obviously.
Okay, well, it's like clearly. I don't know how to put this. There's a one of the things that chases you is animated so well and so uncomfortably well that I'm like, I want more of that. I heard they had to hand animate it, and it makes sense. The only thing that I can really think of to mention without any spoilers is I looked up the actors because I swear I recognized the character that plays the professor.
I thought I recognized him too, but I had no idea where.
So I looked it up. The voice actor looks nothing like him. So clearly that it's a model of somebody else, or it's a handmade model, which would blow my mind if that's the case. Because Andrew, it looks like the actor. He's you might can't remember his name, but he's in We're the Millers. He's actually English of all things too, which you wouldn't know because he doesn't sound English, or he's from the UK. I shouldn't say English. I would say he's from England, but he's fantastic. Like, here's the thing: all the performances are amazing, but outside of Andrew, nobody looks like their counterpart in the game. And I would have not known that. There's a few moments where it's like, oh, the teeth give it away that this is not a real person, but there's moments where they look like real people too. So all I have to say is I've called bullshit on the Insomniac once again, like, because I didn't know that the actors didn't look like their counterparts until I looked up who was doing the acting. Like, I would have just assumed you scanned people. That's how realistic these people match, like their like the voice and the performance matches the model. So I if nothing else, this game is one of the prettiest looking games, to the point where my for my Xbox is like right at the end of the game. It's like, yeah, so we've run out of video storage, like video memory, and you should check your graphics card. And I'm like, this is a Windows warning on an Xbox. It literally came up with like a Windows warning of you need to look into like the graphics card and like give it more memory or something, or assign it more memory because it ran out. And I was like, what the fuck? So I assume it couldn't buffer video anymore. Yeah, it's showing its age. The console, that's for sure.
I mean,
But,
they are old consoles.
I didn't hate it, but if it's gonna be the worst experience if it's your last super massive, and if it's your first, it can only go up from here, right?
Yeah, I mean it you give it till you
And
get
it's
to
my
Until
first.
Dawn.
It's my first super massive, so I'm gonna play Man of Medan, and hopefully it's better. Like from the sounds of it, it's better. And
Yes.
then I still have my sealed copy of Until Dawn on the shelf that I bought for like brand new and then never played.
Oh, Until Dawn is so good.
I've heard. I know.
So good.
All right, that's it for me.
All right. Well, I'll move over to the Wombat.
All right. Well, honestly, I haven't played much of anything.
All right.
I played a little bit more Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'll probably try to play some more of that this week in advance of Game of the Year, just so I can make sure I give that game a fair shake. I won't be able to play it enough to really experience it as much as I've experienced the other stuff on my list, but at least I could know a little bit more than I know now, because I'm not really all that far into it right now. Other than that, mostly I've spent this week playing, when I've had time to play games, I've played Demon Souls, sorry. Yeah, I'm really still enjoying it a lot. I've kind of, come to grips with the fact that I'm going to have to grind because I'm just not that great at the game. But it's okay. It's got a good loop to it, and I don't mind grinding in it a little bit. So that's mostly what I've been playing when I have a free second.
Hey,
which is unfortunately not all that much.
But still, it could be worse. You're playing a new game on a new console, and that's good news.
Yes, for sure. Yep, and it's a excellent game.
Yeah, it's a very quality video game. We had a lot of quality.
I know it's not your cup of tea, but
no, I wish it was. I keep trying. Eventually, I'll find one that'll click with me. I just haven't found one yet. I've liked so many of them. I can't get it to click with me. I don't know what it is.
You still haven't found what you're looking for.
I haven't. I even reinstalled Code Vein this week, thinking, oh well, maybe this one's a little simpler and stupid, and I can get into it. But like, I started playing that, I was like, wow, this really. I know people joke about it, but like, this game really does not capture that like sublime combat feel of a Dark Souls game. It feels sloppy. And I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for either, so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Demon Souls is still my favorite of the Souls type games that I've played. I've played Demon Souls, obviously. I've played Dark Souls 1 and 2. I've played Bloodborne. I've played Sekiro, and Demon Souls I still think is my favorite of the bunch. So the remake is, it's hitting nostalgia buttons for me, but it's also just a really quality video game.
Yep, I think Bloodborne's still my favorite.
Yeah, I was not a fan. But that's it.
All right. I don't have anything exciting to talk about, but I did jump back into a lot of older stuff, again, for kind of the Game of the Year stuff. I played quite a bit more Valhalla, just dicking around in that world. It is a very beautiful world on next-gen consoles. I can't get over that enough, how good it looks on these new machines. More Yakuza Like a Dragon. That game continues to be amazing, and I can't stress enough that everybody should play that game. Immortals Phoenix Rising, same thing. Played going back through and collecting cartridges in AVG and Deluxe. That game, I really, really like that game. The bundle of those two games, they are very good. But most of my time I've spent basically just booting up a bunch of different. I did play through a couple stages of the original Mega Man, just because
Oh, nice.
every now and then I just want to do that.
Yep.
I did a perfect run on Cutman stage, and I felt pretty good about
Nice.
that. So, but I've been mostly spending my time like playing games and to tweak my new television settings because I have a real problem just constantly tinkering with colors and brightness and stuff until I get the picture that I want in the things that I want. So I've been booting up a lot of games in HDR, not in HDR, movies, TV shows, things like that, just to tweak my settings. And that's kind of the biggest game that I've been playing over the past week is just dicking around with TV settings. I have an obsession where I'm constantly just changing things, and it drives me crazy for the first month of a new TV. And then you get it set, and you're like, oh, this color looks off on this TV show. I need to start all over again.
Yeah.
It's an awful thing, but yeah, no, I've really just been playing a lot of. I did get back in into traditional fashion, and it's scary, Drew, when I say this. This starts year 6 of playing Overwatch.
Yes.
That's God damn. That's a
That's
long.
Crazy.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of that. I know the season. I'll have to do my season stuff because it ends this week. So
Wait, you're 6 or you're 4?
6 or my 4 what?
You said this is year 6?
Year 6, yeah.
Didn't this game come out in 2016?
I thought it was 2015.
No, 2016.
Are you sure?
It was a year. It was yes, because it was the year my wife and I got together.
I gotta look this up.
Hold on.
No, it's May 24th. You're right, 2016. So it's the 5th year.
Yeah.
It came out in 2015 as a beta on
Beta.
PC.
Beta, yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
I did.
So
play
you
the
have
beta.
heard of this game for that long.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I played the beta.
5 years of playing this game, which is banana sandwich to me. Okay. So
BANANAS.
it's a 5-year anniversary. So here's the question: does the sequel get released before the 5-year anniversary, or do we get a big 5-year anniversary for the first game?
That I don't know.
I don't think that game comes out till fall.
I don't think that game comes out this year.
Really? I'm guessing October or November is the release date for that game.
I would assume they would wait and have a big announcement and everything.
Well, I think
for-
they're gonna do it at BlizzCon, which has been delayed to what? February, I think.
Has it been delayed till February?
Well, I mean, it is delayed because it was supposed to be in October or November.
Right.
Sorry. So yeah, it was delayed to the beginning of the year. I think they're gonna blow that game out. I think that's gonna be the headliner of this year's show because it's either that or
More than
Diablo
likely.
4.
I really hope it's Diablo 4, for being honest.
I don't know that game is ready to be a blowout though. I still think that game is 2 years away. I think Overwatch 2 is going to be their big game this year because they just smashed out a Warcraft expansion. So the only stuff they have besides the Diablo mobile game is Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, and we know Overwatch 2 is way further in development.
This is true.
So I think that game gets a blowout at BlizzCon and a release date for, I would guess, late October, early November. That will be their big game this fall. Because ain't no way Diablo is making 2021. No way.
We'll see.
No way, Drew. Come on. It's Diablo. We've seen it one time.
Apparently, people are playing it.
Yeah, people were playing the original Diablo 3 years before it came out.
Yeah, apparently people in the outside world are playing it.
Yeah, there's an alpha out there, so.
Yeah.
I definitely know people are playing it, but there is no fucking way that game drops this year. No way.
You may be right.
So I bet Overwatch 2 is their big game this year. The question is, what else are they going to do? They did a Warcraft expansion. I mean, is it time for StarCraft to come back?
I feel like they've kind of abandoned that series.
Well, I mean, they have, but Blizzard is very good about bringing things back. You know.
No.
So I miss StarCraft.
Never played it.
Oh, you've missed so much, Drew.
I don't have a need.
I did play it and never could get into it.
Why? That's because you're wrong.
Well, it's true. I also probably didn't play it right.
I played it wrong for a long time. So I remember the first time somebody told me to buy it, and I bought it, and I'm like, this is dumb. What am I doing? Like, this, I don't understand. Like, I got a robot, and he shoots stuff, but I can't just, like, shoot. I gotta wait. What? Hold on. I gotta wait till it cools. What is going on here? Okay. But then I got into it and literally lost years of my life playing that game. Which is why I'm glad I never booted up World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I was able to break that habit pretty easily.
There's something about Blizzard games, man. I don't know what it is, but even genres that I don't like I despise team-based multiplayer shooters. Never enjoyed them. Never enjoyed Counter-Strike. Never enjoyed any of that stuff. And now look at me.
Now look at you.
5 years later, I'm still playing the same team-based shooter. I never liked RTS before StarCraft, and I'm going to be real honest with you, I don't like it after. Like, that's the only...
It's just StarCraft.
It's just StarCraft. That is the only RTS that I find super enjoyment in.
I was deep into Warcraft, like old school, like Orcs and Humans.
Yeah, I remember playing
Yeah,
that.
I really liked Warcraft. Warcraft 2. I liked the first one, but I really got into Warcraft 2.
I did not like the third one at all.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just different.
It's very much like that Dota thing.
That's what spawned
Dota.
Dota.
That's what Dota was built off of. Yeah, but it had too much of that, and I will say that I tried Heroes of the Storm several times, and I just did not like.
I absolutely loved Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
they actually really did abandon that game. They're just like, yeah, we're taking a step back from that game.
Yeah, I could not. That is one genre I will probably never get into. So, and that's the only one I played. I never played Dota. I never played League. I just played Heroes of the Storm. And truthfully, the only reason I played Heroes of the Storm more than a couple times is because they were giving away Overwatch skins. Played it.
Yeah.
So that's really why I played it. And then they realized nobody was actually playing it, so they put those skins in loot boxes anyway. So whatever. So that's kind of funny. Anyway. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. You know what? I'm looking forward to playing Cyberpunk when it's finally done. That'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It still sits on my hard drive, just collecting virtual dust because I haven't even booted it up. So,
did I talk about Mario and Rabbids last week? I don't think I did. I think I said I had it.
I think you talked about having it, but I don't know that you actually talked.
Yeah, so I
about
started it up. But that goddamn, that's a good.
That's a good ass
Yeah,
video.
I really liked that game a lot. I think that game didn't get enough press.
Holy shit! And it's funny. I mean, I like the Rabbids already, so I'm more likely. But I found even the Rabbids in this game were more tolerable for people that don't like the Rabbids.
Yeah,
because you're shooting them most of the time. The actual movement around the map, like being able to spring off of a partner to get further in and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays really, really well.
That game you could have told me that was a Nintendo made game and I'd have believed you. It's good. It's like Mario XCOM. Like it's cool stuff.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's like 100% hit, 50% hit, 0% hit.
Yeah, there's no BS to it.
Thank God. Yeah.
All right. I know I said last week was kind of light, but I mean this week is even lighter. So there's nothing for the new machines out this week. PlayStation's getting Iris Fall, whatever that is. Xbox is getting Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom. And then even the Nintendo Switch just has Charge Kid, Red Colony, Sense, A Cyberpunk Ghost Story, Star Dash, and Werewolf the Apocalypse Heart of the Forest. And that's it. That's every game coming out this week. So
That Werewolf Iris Fall is a puzzle game. I knew that. Werewolf the Apocalypse? Isn't there like
the heart? I don't know that it's the werewolf you're thinking of because I thought
it's all the same. Yeah, so it's a so they've been releasing like text adventures.
Okay.
So that's what this is. Like there's some Vampire the Masquerade. They're all part of the same universe.
It'll just get buried
ones
on
that
the
noticed-
eShop anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's like that's what this is. This is just another text adventure in that series.
It's kind of ridiculous that I went on. I forget there was a game that came out last week that I was kind of interested in looking at on the Switch, and I went to the eShop, which by the way is still fucking slow as balls.
Yes.
I went on there to see like how much it was, and I literally had to scroll 4 times to find a game that came out like a day or two after when I checked. And I was just like, how do any games do anything on this fucking store? It's miserable to search that store. The discovery on it is just terrible. It's terrible. So, I don't know. I did play my Switch. Like I said, I was playing AVGN, which is the only place that's available besides PC. And then I was doing some more Mario Sunshine because fuck the haters, that game's awesome. Mario Sunshine's a great video game. Now that we can invert our camera angles, Mario Sunshine is a better game. Just want to throw that out there. Alright. News. There's not a ton. But we did get our free games for PlayStation Plus for the month of January, and by God, it's pretty fucking good. Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Greedfall are your PS4 games. And your PS5...
Yeah, play Greedfall.
Yeah, I think that version gets the upgrade too once it goes live. And for the PS5, you get the PS5 version of Maneater.
Whoa, here she comes.
I mean, that's a pretty fucking good month. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good month. Both of them were good this month. King of Fighters is live now, as is Little Nightmares. And if you've never played KOF 13, that's a very good fighting game. So you should go grab that on Xbox. It's real good. Speaking of Xbox, Major Nelson did an interview with Phil Spencer this week, and he was talking about production of the Xbox Series X and S. They're trying to ramp up production to get more people to be able to purchase one of these fancy new consoles, because you still can't just walk into a store and buy one, either of them. So, he also talked about the Bethesda stuff, which continues to be up and down, but he did throw a little nugget out there basically saying that Bethesda was key to Xbox's strategy in 2021, which makes, me wonder more and more if they're going to put those games on other platforms. I don't know. It's a good interview if you haven't seen it. There's not a lot of new information, but it's always good to hear, these guys talk after a console launch. Most of the news on the game sites is about TV shows and movies, if that tells you how light the video game news is this time of year. I will let Anthony talk about the Nier stuff because I only saw it. I don't know the details, but apparently there was a cheat code discovered.
Yeah, so after you beat the first boss in Nier Automata, somebody went through the code of the game and found that there's a cheat code that you can input that skips you right to the end of the game. It's not like a hack or something like that. No, it's programmed into the game. It looks way more complex than you'd want it to be, but there's a video on Twitter that was confirmed by the Nier staff. Oh my God, give me a second. I'm having one of those moments. I'm forgetting the Nier creator.
Yoko Taro?
Yes, thank you. He confirmed it. Like he retweeted it and posted it. Yeah, it's fascinating that was hidden in there. I'm not sure if it's supposed to intentionally be found or not. Like, I don't know if that was for testing purposes, but they did say that there was something else hidden in the game. This seems to be it. It's just neat that there's something stayed hidden for this long.
It's always crazy when that happens.
Well, especially when the game's on PC, right? Like, it makes a little bit more sense if only that you couldn't, it would have been harder to just kind of scrounge through the code. But the PC has been available, so it's not like somebody couldn't do that. In other news, Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 is live.
Yeah, it starts today, right?
Yeah. Kingdom Come Deliverance might be coming to Switch. It's found on the Japanese Nintendo Switch release schedule.
Which is a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, if anybody wants to see the near code, Man Fight Dragon on Twitter, Lance McDonald, he's posted that he found the cheat code. He has the video there.
How much of that game do you have to play to find a cheat code that nobody else found? That's crazy.
Well, it's not even that. He explained that he actually went through the code to find it, not just playing the game.
Oh, that's not as impressive then.
No, but if you see the code, it's so obtuse that you wouldn't just stumble on it. It's something you would have to know, but it's almost there. That's the reason why I said I don't know if it's meant to be found or not. Like, I don't know if it was for testing purposes, but the fact that it was still left in there and no one had, because listen, they do data dumps on games the day they come out now. Like, so fact that this still went that unknown for what, 3 years now? That's crazy.
Data dumps are like the most boring way to find secrets in a video game to me.
Yep. To the point where, like, Binding of Isaac, I remember they did one where a secret character was found by dumping all the data, and like they when they were going to put a new character in the game, they didn't update the game to even have mention of it until everybody had solved this like ARG, which involved going to real places and digging up like little figures that Ed McMillan and his wife, girlfriend, and I don't know what their relationship status is, made, and like they had to solve in real life clues before they even updated it, because that was their way of getting around it. Yeah, it doesn't sound as interesting, but the fact that was hidden in there when clearly people have gone through and pulled the models out of Nier and stuff, like that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see cheat codes pop up. Yeah, I don't like the data dump stuff. I never have. It's like when people get a new patch for a fighting game, they start digging through trying to find characters, and I'm just like...
Yeah. Well, this is... I mean... Yeah, I think the thing here is that it's not done to spoil anything. It was literally like, I want to see how this works. Wait a second, what is that? Sort of thing, from the sounds of it.
That's fine.
I don't know. Do you have any other news?
I really don't. Like, I scrolled through this and it was just all like TV shows and just...
A game that will be making my Game of the Year list top 10. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is coming to iOS and Android.
Okay.
I'm surprised that game looks great, so the fact that it's coming to mobile is cool. I don't know.
The Resident Evil movie Reboot has finished filming.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I didn't even know it was filming. I thought it was still like pre-planning.
Apparently
it's just done. So now it's, whatever.
Did you, Ken, this is something that was brought to my attention by a friend of mine, actually. Do you remember a game, Sense, a Cyberpunk Ghost Story?
Yeah, I mentioned it's coming out this week for the Switch.
Right, but do you remember mentioning it a couple weeks ago, too? Because that's when I first heard about it.
No, You're asking a lot for me to remember something.
Oh,
from 2
the
weeks ago.
companies made up some horseshit and said that people are trying to censor their game because they're upset that it has boobies in it, and that people want it not to come to Switch. And they've put out an official statement, except that it's horseshit because I have looked for criticism, and the most it has is, "Yep, it's one of those booby games."
I mean, the booby games are everywhere.
Exactly. It's another one of those. They're trying to censor us by our game.
I don't know. I don't care.
Exactly. It's the same thing that happened with Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 3 or whatever. They're
The
like,
game
they
that
won't
never
allow
came
this.
out over here.
Yeah, they won't allow it to come out. No, it's because these games don't sell.
Yeah, no.
That's why.
Nobody cares about your booby game. It's like when they canceled Galgun for PS4 and Xbox. I'm just like, okay. Put it on the Switch. All the weebs got a Switch.
Yeah,
anyway.
it's weird. It's weird that it didn't. Knowing that the other games have come out, it's weird that it's not. But other than that, whatever.
I mean, I don't.
I mean,
have
I'd
you
be
ever
more
seen
upset, I guess,
footage
if it
of
was-
those games? I don't want to play that. Like,
Nah, neither do I. That's
Ugh.
why I don't.
that shit is creep. Like, if you get enjoyment from that game, all more power to you. But it just creeps me the fuck out. I don't want to play that.
Oh yeah, I forgot because I usually talk about prototypes and stuff, and I like Sonic the Hedgehog. New Sonic the Hedgehog, the original 16-bit game, has been found. A new prototype. It's big because it's got different level layouts and everything. It's gonna be kind of for Sonic fans only. Like, it doesn't sound like there's anything super drastic to like a quick look, but it's fascinating because people didn't think that was going to be possible.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Did anybody watch Cobra Kai season 3?
No,
Anybody watch Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai at
period?
all.
I have not seen Cobra Kai.
Oh my god!
I have not either.
You need to
Hey
watch
Drew,
it.
when are you going to have time to fit that in amongst all the other things you should be doing?
When I die.
Yeah, exactly. Me
Cobra
too.
Kai is so good. So good. You need to watch it. So good. Yeah, I literally binged it. Like, it dropped on Friday, and I think I binged it Friday and Saturday. And loved every minute of it. Alright, I got 2 tweets and that's it. So if you got anything else...
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Dude, it's
I don't
that
see
time of
anything.
year where there's like no news. It's just quiet.
Yeah.
We should all be catching up on backlogs, but we don't.
True.
I spend all my time watching Cobra Kai and tweaking TV settings. That's what I do.
Disgaea 6 is going to have a 32 times speed mode.
Okay.
That's kind of absurd.
That's kind of fast, dude.
Yeah.
It's the only joke I have about this guy is dude. Literally it.
Dude!
Dude.
Prinnies. I like Prinnies. They're great characters.
Like 600 versions of that game, and like it's still not mainstream.
But can he really be the hero is the question.
I don't think he can.
The scarf allows you to take one hit before exploding, and then the next one gets the scarf. Love that concept. And then there's a special ending for losing all 999 Prinnies. Ed Boon talks about working with license holders for Mortal Kombat 11.
I bet you there's
Yep.
another combat pack for that game this year.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
I mean, at this point, we would have been done. We'd have been done before the last one in previous years. So, like, they really did stick to their guns about supporting this game longer.
Let's see. Kanye West once tried to collaborate with Nintendo. I don't know why people were surprised about that.
I mean,
Like,
who
I'm not-
hasn't tried to collaborate with Nintendo?
It's not even that. Like, do people not remember that people are like surprised that Kanye West was at E3? Do people not remember he made a video game about his mother skateboarding to heaven?
Yeah, I remember that.
They literally, if you watch the preview on the Ubisoft stage with Matt and Trey, from South Park. Trey Parker makes fun of it on stage. Did you see that Kanye West game? Like, what the fuck was that? I remembered that. So, like, the fact that he approached them at E3 doesn't surprise me. Also, yes, who hasn't tried to work with Nintendo?
I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Nintendo? That's fair. All right.
Yep, that's about it. Other than like Dragon Quest speedrunners are roasting their classic consoles. It's one where they actually are heating up the board inside like the old console to speed it up. Like there's certain things that are affected by the temperature. Yeah. Cool. All right. Tweet time. Sorry, Ken.
Tweet time. We got 2. David says, I ended 2020 by beating Mario Odyssey, Miles Morales, and Luigi's Mansion 3. I have a short attention span when it to complete games, so to beat these within the last month is huge for me. My son and wife took an interest in playing, which pushed me to complete. Happy New Year, guys. That's a trio of excellent video games to finish.
I'm looking forward to Luigi's Mansion myself.
That is a wonderful video game. Mario Odyssey is a wonderful video game.
Which Luigi's Mansion hasn't been wonderful? Let's be honest.
That's true. I didn't care much for the DS one, but
it had to do something different, right?
Yeah.
And that was the first one that was made by Next Level, so they had to do their own thing, and I think there were some really good ideas in that game that, yes, it doesn't have the same impact as one, but the new concepts were cool. I mean, they brought them over to number 3, I've heard, so.
I think the only issue I had with Mario Odyssey, as far as the game goes, is that I felt like there was just too much. Like, they rewarded you a fucking moon for, like, every fucking step you took.
You jumped!
Yeah, here's a moon.
Good job.
Is
this like parody of
2
achievements?
coins. Here's a moon. You know, there's like 2, and like you could bank moons. Like there were so many that you didn't have to turn it in as soon as you collected it. I'm like, God bless America. But still, a great game. Lots of really cool stuff in that game. Curtis sent us a tweet, actually 2 tweets. He says, thanks for clearing up the question I asked fellas, especially Anthony. Was telling my friend the same thing. Told him games are too cheap right now for me to mod my consoles or pirate video games. Also, Platinum AC Origins a few days ago, and yes, AC Odyssey is a much better game by far. Happy New Year to you all, and prosperous 2021. Love what you guys doing, and keep up the good work. Plus, any hidden gems from 2020 you guys would like to share.
Maneater is free. I think Maneater on PlayStation Plus.
If you have a PS5, yeah.
Yeah. Even if you don't, but you're gonna plan on if you can grab it still. I don't know how that's possible. I think you can still do it on PC.
Yeah, just go to the website and claim all your games. Yep.
Maneater is a great game. It is repetitive. So, but you have to remember this game was sold, I think, at like 40 Canadian.
Yeah, it was a B tier, like $40.
It was a B tier game, or B tier release. Like, I gave it a 7.5, and that's mainly because of its repetitiveness. It came out at $40. Yeah, so it's a really fun game though. Think of it like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater almost, with a bunch of like small little areas with a bunch of things to do in it, and then you move on to the next area. It was just dumb fun, and that's what matters to me as I'm playing, is a shark that kills people. Like, I'm not looking for anything else. So I think that's a game that a lot of people looked over. It came out earlier in the year too, which always, unless you're a big title like Resident Evil 2 did, you get forgotten about. In fact, Resident Evil 3, from the sounds of it, got forgotten about.
I forgot that game came out this year. I forgot Resident Evil 3
I forgot to play
came out. Yeah.
I got it. I had something else to play at the time, and I just remembered it as I was saying Resident Evil 2.
Yep.
I'm just going through my list. Fight Crab is a good game. It's not by any means the best game of the year, but it's a lot of fun. It started to hit an audience, I think, on Switch a bit. Hunt Down was a really good old classic sort of Genesis-style shooter.
Foregone as well. Check out Foregone.
Foregone, yeah, that's another one. In my top 10 list, other than Maneater, Murder by Numbers. If you like Picross, that's a must-play. It's on Switch and PC. And I talked about Cardo not too long ago. It's on Game Pass. I think it's a great game. I think everybody should play it. It's challenging without being unfair in terms of puzzles. And the world is just so wonderful. I'd like to see more of it. But that's it. I think that's it for me in terms of like hidden gems this year. Oh yeah, Speed 3 Grand Prix. That's a must play.
No, it's not. Don't lie to people.
Don't buy that game. Don't spend money on that game.
I'm gonna put on my conspiracy hat, and I'll give you 2 hidden gems because they're fucking Xbox games. Fucking Ori and the Will of the Wisps. God damn it! Nobody talked about that game at the end of the year, and it's so fucking good.
It is good.
Yeah, and Battletoads.
Battletoads is good.
Both of those
also
games
good.
are on Game
Yep.
Pass, and they're amazing games. And fuck you if you think otherwise.
Yeah, Battletoads is good. I thought you were gonna say the Gears of War expansion there.
The Gears of War expansion is really good, but it's Gears. People know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I just feel like people
That expansion,
probably aren't
I am
engaging
not.
with it.
I'm not being hyperbolic here. That expansion for me was better. It's shorter, so you don't get as much, but it was better than the last 2 campaigns. I really enjoyed that expansion. It was really good. So take that as you will. It's also 3-player co-op, which what fucking games do co-op anymore? You know, it's crazy. So you should definitely play that. And then, of course, the biggest hidden gem this year was Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? Nobody played that?
I have not even played my copy.
I know.
I don't even own it.
That kills me, Drew, because you're such a big Final Fantasy guy that you've not played this.
Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time.
And you did not even, look twice at the remake.
Nope.
I'll be real honest with you. The first impression it leaves is very high, and then it really drags out that fucking city sequence, a lot. That's the whole game.
I mean, I kind of figured I want to play it, but I honestly want to play it after all of them are out.
I mean, you ain't going to play it until PlayStation 7.
Well, then there you go. Because I don't want to play a half of a game.
You're not even playing a quarter of a game.
My question is that, so Final Fantasy VII, right?
Mm-hmm.
The remake. It ends when you leave Midgard.
Yeah.
So you level up in that game. How are you supposed to carry over your stats and stuff like that, your equipment, to the next game if it's on a different system?
We won't know until it comes out. The second one will be on PS5, which is back compat with PS4, so you could pull the save over.
Okay.
So, and on PC it'll be fine. I'm guessing the Xbox version is going to get announced, and it'll come out in March, literally a year after it came out, and it'll have Series X enhancements. I'd almost guarantee it.
Right.
I would also not be shocked if they put that on Game Pass, since they had to wait a year.
They also have multiple Final Fantasies on Game Pass already.
Oh, absolutely. Everything. I think every Final Fantasy is on Game Pass except for 10 and 10-2 remastered, and maybe 12 is on there. I don't know. But yeah, every other Final Fantasy's on there. So the fact that they had to wait a year, I would not be shocked if that shows up on Game Pass.
Yeah, you may be right.
So,
as far as hidden gems of 2020, The Tourist.
That didn't come out this year on anything but Xbox, right?
Well, that's where I played it.
I think, I think it went skipped on the Switch for the most part, so yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. That game is incredible. You should play it.
Yeah.
I think it's the part of the issue right now is we're trying to think of stuff that we played this year, and releases are so fucking stupid now.
Well, also,
Yeah.
The Tourist is on Game Pass.
Yes.
So
And
you
you
can
should play it.
Basically, if you want hidden gems, motherfucker, just go subscribe to Game Pass.
Yeah. There are multiple games on there.
Hey,
I
Blaster
mean-
Master Zero finally came to PS4 with 2. Those are games that you should play. Cloudpunk on PC is fascinating. It's actually on consoles now too, so that's a weird cyberpunk taxi game. I can't really describe it, but it's fascinating. SpongeBob SquarePants. You might be like, I don't really care for SpongeBob SquarePants, but if you like 3D platformers, hey, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is great. Journey to the Savage Planet is a game that most people don't talk about. It's good.
It's on
weird.
Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Look at that.
See?
Hey, I like classic beat 'em ups. Great. Double Dragon Kunio-kun Retro Brawler Bundle. That's a must play if you like classic beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 4. People forgot that came out this year.
Oh, trust me, that is not something I forgot about.
A lot of
It's
people
on,
did, though.
Game...
A lot of
Well,
people did.
And those people are stupid. That might be on Game Pass still. I don't remember.
Yes. Streets of Rage 4
There you
is
go.
still on Game Pass. It's basically just subscribe to Game Pass and you will get a
Yeah.
ton of hidden gems. There's even a little button that says recommend me a game and you press it and it picks a game.
Um,
The worst
Yeah,
thing it does is it sucks and you delete it.
I'm looking through a game I have not played, but I've been told I want to play. Just need to buy it. Moon Remix RPG Adventure is a cult classic PS1 game. It finally came out in English for the first time on Switch, and I know one person that talks about it.
The problem is nowadays is you see it when we do the new releases every week. There's like 50 new games a week.
Yep.
So cycling through them and trying to find something that is good is hard because there's so many games.
I know this is one that Jay would say if he was here. 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. It's a tower defense game made by Vanillaware. Between side-scrolling adventure segments and real-time strategy. My bad.
It's a Vanillaware jam. That's basically
It's a Vanillaware game, yeah,
yeah.
and you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
with
there's
the look of
definitely
it.
some questionable stuff in that game, but that's Vanillaware. So
Genshin Impact came out. That's free.
I mean, that's free. Just go download it. It's
Yeah.
a pretty good game.
I
I know I'll get shit for this, but Immortals Phoenix Rising. Nobody talked about that game. Nobody advertised that game. And that game is one of the best games I played this year.
And they're advertising it to me on Instagram, and I'm like, I own the game. Like, this should have been out there way before the game came out.
Also, not to be biased or anything, but I'm in the commercial. That's one thing, I'm in the commercial.
It's not a commercial. This is actually like a live streamer playing parts of it and talking about the game.
No, I mean I will be in the commercial for the game. A
Oh,
quote from my review will be in the commercial. If they ever run a fucking commercial, I mean, who's gonna put that commercial for that game? That game is so good, though. Love that game.
Tetris Effect Connected.
It's on
I know
Game
that
Pass.
doesn't seem like Game Pass. Play it.
Just get Game Pass.
Yeah.
Game Pass is really good.
Here's one. It's a good game from what I've played so far. It's not making my list because I haven't played enough of it. But Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Hey, that was a pretty good 3D Super Mario 3D World. Clone.
Astrobot ate that game's lunch, and it sucks because
yeah.
you're right. It is a good video game. It's the best Little Big Planet game that's not called Little Big Planet.
Big Planet.
Because you don't have to build anything. You just play a sweet-ass platformer.
And it like I said, though, it felt, because it's clearly set up for multiplayer, it felt like 3D World. Like, all the secrets and all the things you could do. I'm like, this feels like Super Mario 3D World.
There's also a level set to
compliment.
Britney Spears' Toxic, which is amazing. I'm not going to lie. That's not a joke. I'm not going to lie. It's amazing.
I like that song. No, I know. I like that song a lot, too, but I'm not afraid to admit it.
But I mean, the level itself built to
yes,
that is
I've heard that
perfect.
there's one that's Let's Dance from David Bowie.
Yeah, there's also, what is it,
Fly Me to the Moon.
Bruno Mars song, I think, in there, too.
Oh, is it Uptown Funk?
I don't remember. That game, you should play, you should play that game.
What game is this?
Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
I got you.
It's on PS4 and PS5, so.
I have the PS4 version that came with a little Sackboy.
Demon's Souls was literally the only first-party game that was only available on PS5, right? The rest of these, like Spider-Man and Sackboy, could be played on PS4, right?
I think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure because it's hard to recommend PS5 and Series X. Not that there is a Series X only game, but It's hard to recommend PS5 games when like hardly anybody could get a PS5. So I just wanted to make sure. Pathless has a PS4 version, doesn't it?
Well, that
Or
and
does it not?
Astrobot.
Astrobot doesn't, but it comes with the system. Like you can't even buy it. So
Yeah. What was the game you mentioned?
Pathless. Does Pathless have a PS4 version, or was that PS5
The
only?
Pathless, I think, has multiple versions. Give me a second.
It also has a PC version, Ken. Yes,
Yes.
it does. Sorry, I was muted and I was sitting here screaming at the top of my lungs.
Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't
yes,
hear you.
it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It has Windows, PS4, PS5, and iOS.
Okay. So
I didn't know there was an iOS version.
Demon Souls is literally the only game besides Astrobot because it's free and you can only get it on PS5. Bugsnax had a PS4 version. I just want to make sure because a lot of these games, I didn't want to say go buy this, and if you don't have a PS5, it does you no good. So
Talking about bug snacks.
but I didn't like that game, but I heard a lot of people did. So
Oh, it was okay.
yeah. All right. Do you want to wrap this up by talking about Little Hope, and then we can get out of here?
Do you want to join the conversation, Ryan? You can ask us questions.
I don't care. I'll
All right.
join the conversation.
Cool.
But
All right, so are we gonna do this like we have to go through the whole thing and explain to people, or should we just cut into what we want to talk about?
Just talk what you want to talk about. That's fine.
So I don't mind the ending. But like
Yep.
I said to you and Drew, what the fuck's with the demon at the beginning that they just totally wipe away?
Well, like I told you when you were telling me about it, was like I feel like that game heavy rained itself, where it kept trying to lead you to something that it was clearly never going to cash in on. And by the end of the game, I'm just kind of like, I don't give a shit. Like all of this, and then you see the ending, and you're like, oh, it's all bullshit.
You know, as soon as they did that, I was like, all right, but why?
So
why does his sister character like have pink hair? Like, why would he figure modern versions of the people? Like, it was like, what the fuck is going on with the logic? He said to Drew, if I'm playing as Andrew with whoever else is with Andrew at the time, right? That's clearly the canon where Anthony, the character that is actually the person imagining all this stuff, like clearly that's where Anthony is. So how the fuck is the other crew doing anything of any purpose? Like there's nothing they can do because they're fictional. It doesn't. God. And it's like, fine, all this is in his mind, but again, in the intro sequence, you tell me is real. You show me a demon standing next to the little girl. Are we just supposed to forget about that? Apparently.
It could just be a memory that he's thinking about when it happened.
But he didn't see that. That's what I'm saying, Drew. Like, he didn't see the little girl lock the door with his mother. He wouldn't have known that part.
Well, I mean, that's true, but I mean, maybe that's what he thought happened.
But it did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole intro sequence. The fact that you control how the female character dies. She can either be burned or hung via her scarf. Like, it's clearly that's what happened. So it doesn't make any sense to have the little girl. Like, all they had to do was not have that demon arm in that sequence, and I would have never questioned it. But it reminds me a lot of Paranormal Activity 4, where there's a little kid throughout like half the movie, and then that kid just disappears because he served his point in the plot, and therefore we're just never talking about it again. They hope you forget. No, I didn't forget.
Well, it's like I said. I told Ken this as we were playing it. I feel like the Dark Pictures Chronicle is going for a different vibe, because there is some misdirection in Until Dawn, but it for the most part it sticks to its guns. Man of Medan, whatever you think is happening, you are incorrect. And it's the same way with Little Hope. Whatever you think's happening is wrong.
Yeah, I totally
It's-
did not see the ending coming.
No, I did.
They never hint at it.
They never hint at it. While in Man of Medan, they hint at it and almost beat you over the head with it at one point about halfway through the game.
Especially if you're playing co-op.
Yeah. So
the only thing that I can say that hints towards it is that Andrew is always safe.
That's not really a hint. That's not even
that's
like a hint.
that's just it, right? Like every time Andrew is never in danger, not once. And I'm like, well, clearly he's the main character. Like you've made that, but I'm like, I still don't understand. And it's like in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, he was never in danger. He couldn't be, but like that doesn't fucking matter. Like if he was the one that talked to the guy at the bar early on, right? If he was the only one that conversed with the guy at the bar, that would have made more sense. But like clearly he's not. Like the professor character talks to him. I mean, through Anthony, but whatever.
technically, it's the bus driver talking to everybody.
Yes.
Which is
Spoiler.
stupid because you get to
Right?
the
Yeah,
end and
yeah.
you're like, okay.
But the bus driver wasn't missing. The bus driver was the only person that was.
I remember when we got to
Ugh.
that scene, Drew, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, that's it? That's the twist?
Well, you also didn't know what happened.
No, I
And I
was clueless. I was like, wait, hold
Wait,
on.
who is this? What's going on? And I was like, oh, I get it. None of these people are real. It's just the bus driver.
Yeah, and it's like
And that's-
you literally show the bus driver for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden he's the main character of the game. I'm like, okay, fuck off.
And
And I was
that's,
like, and he's Anthony from years later, and
Yeah.
he's going through the trauma and trying to forgive himself for like letting his family die.
So why the witches?
but the witch stuff.
that wasn't real.
I understand that, but
is-
why? Why is it there?
Yeah,
He's
well,
having a
that's because
vision
that's
within a
stuff that-
vision?
there's stuff that happened, and I assume he is projecting his guilt elsewhere. That's the only reason why I say that is because the reason why the judge is Asian is because the neighbor that blames him for the house burning down in the beginning is Asian.
I get that, but that's still stupid.
But it was like a waste of time there when like I'm like I didn't need that. Right? You didn't have to build it in witchcraft.
That's my point, is like they build the game as like this witchcraft story, and like literally that has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah. And it's like and
Ken,
look,
welcome to Man of Medan.
the preacher who has the same name as the mayor that's shutting down the factory. Okay, but like what role was that? So the preacher was battle along, and they open up his Bible, and then there's like symbols and stuff. So clearly he's practicing Satanism. But we haven't built up to this, other than I knew that he was evil because like why would I'm like clearly they're telling me it's the little girl, but I'm smart enough to realize it's the preacher early on.
So, if you remember correctly, the preacher is also modeled. He's the same person as the mayor from back in the 70s.
Yes,
Right.
I understand that.
And we're constantly saying the preacher is the bad guy of this entire story, which he is, because the mayor of the town, if you remember correctly, was shutting down the factory where Anthony's dad worked.
I said that, yeah.
And because of that, he starts drinking. And because of that, it's like everything, they try to connect everything in a different world way.
I understand that. But, and this is where my issue comes in, back again to the house fire. One, it wasn't set by the fucking mayor. The mayor didn't come to their house and set it on. It was his little sister. He saw the doll. Regardless of everything, say the demon thing is nonsense. He saw the doll, and he was clearly locked out of the house by the little sister. Yeah, he blames himself. And I get it, like, guilt's a weird thing, and he might just blame himself because he couldn't save anyone, and he gave bad advice to his sister, and then ended up with her dead, too, and so he couldn't save anybody. I get it. But the fact that he takes this whole guilt thing this fucking far, like, I'm sorry, but that's so fucking stupid. Like, you saw the doll, who, by the way, catches on fire and falls to the linoleum floor, and the linoleum floor just catches on fire like there's fucking gasoline poured all over it. And, like, the sister locked the mother in the bathroom. Like, his little sister, who was adopted or whatever, because I don't think I think they say, like, none of those kids are actually theirs. Like, the little sister is the problem. And the whole thing is that he's forgiving her. No, she's the one that caused his whole family to die. And I get it, like, forgiveness and moving on and stuff. But, like, literally, he's blaming himself, and he sees a demon, and we're just not talking about that anymore.
No, why would we? That'd be stupid.
Oh my fucking god. It's just, again, I don't mind the whole it's all in his mind, it's survivor's guilt thing, but then if that's the case, there's a bunch of stuff you need to address, like what the fuck the demon was at the beginning of the game, and why does he need to see everything in the past, and why does his older sister kind of not look like the character that his actual, like, the girl with the red hair doesn't really look like his sister at all. Like, I didn't see it. Like, she looked sort of like dark eyes, pink hair. Like, the sister had, like, blue eyes, blonde hair. Doesn't look anything alike. The same voice actress, but, like, okay. Like, why did he imagine that character after a bus crash? Like, it just... like, why did he imagine a relationship between two characters? Why is all this stuff happening? Like, he has all this fictional universe built into him. Was he already insane by the time he reached Little Hope, or did he lose his mind when said Little Hope and then he crashed the bus and
I'm pretty sure you're putting more thought into trying to figure it out than they did into writing it. It's
that's
poorly written.
And
he's already went insane before crashing the bus.
Right. He said there's a bunch of people on the bus. He heard Little Hope, and you can see him kind of snap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then he has all this history of these characters knowing each other. What? That's a short period of time.
This game, and I think I told Ken about it while we were watching the credits. I was like, the game reminded me of the John Cusack movie.
The hotel one?
Yeah, Vacancy. Is it called Vacancy or something like that?
Oh, no, that's not what I thought you were talking about the Stephen King Room 233 or whatever.
No. It takes place in a hotel.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Yes, where
What's
it's
it
like
called?
it's all a...
Why do I want to
Anonymous
say
or something like
Raven or
that?
something?
I know, hold on.
Identity.
Identity, yeah.
Yep, that's it. Identity.
Where it's all some bald fat guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ryan's over here
yeah.
like, God, I'm glad I don't play this shit.
Y'all motherfuckers is crazy.
Well, so yeah, the Little Hope is the weakest of their games. I'm hoping that this new one, which looks like it takes place with like a bunch of soldiers in the desert.
But it probably doesn't. It's probably some fucking taxi driver's memory.
Well, what I told Anthony, I think I told you, I said, what if it turns out to be just a soldier having PTSD flashbacks the entire time in a hospital bed?
Yeah.
I would rather watch Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, there you go. That's a great movie.
That's a freaking fever dream of a movie right there.
I mean, it's clearly the inspiration for all of Silent Hill.
Yeah. But Man of Medan has that same vibe going for it, with one exception. The dangers are real. But you just don't know what the dangers are.
Yeah, like, I sent a message to you, and I sent a message to Ken for sure. I think I sent it to you too, Drew, of I'm not playing through the other half of that for review. Why would I? Everything that I do in that is like, any danger, what's the point?
There's not much on the other side.
They're all going to die. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, they don't necessarily, but they're not real. So yeah, they can't die if they never existed.
Oh,
You know-
shit, son.
You know, I called it the Saint Elsewhere ending because I think that's like the first time that sort of insult of an ending has happened. And again, I don't mind the ending, but the ending implies so much that I'm like, this doesn't work. Like, you needed to do better writing to make that a possible ending. Like, you know, if I was going through or whatever, and I went through a doctor's office at some point in Little Hope, right? And I found a thing where, like, it was talking about a victim of a fire that went insane. Oh, I could start to put this stuff together, right? Or it's something you miss entirely. But like everything you can look at in the game just doesn't build, like, it doesn't tell you anything.
Man definitely does that.
I do have to say though, as I alluded to before, the crushed demon, the way that thing moves was so fucking cool. And you don't see it a lot. Clearly because they had to hand animate it.
They do a good job with their like actual models and stuff like that.
So you had the older sister, she got hanged by her scarf, right?
Correct.
Okay. The first sequence when you see that creature and the toes are dragging on bothered me immensely. Because the toes just bend so like just flop under the foot. And I'm like, oh, that's so fucking wrong.
They do
It's like-
have
it's
some
like
good
a-
animation.
Yeah, it's like a hanged body floating, chasing you.
And I liked the brother character too, with the posts sticking out of him. The worst
Yeah.
one was the chained drowned woman. Like that was the most boring one out of them all. But I just was so irritated at the end of it. The only hint, you know what? There's the only real hint is at one point when the curator's talking to you in between. He takes a bunch of cards and he has a jack, 2 kings, and 2 queens, and he puts them down on the table and then he flips them over one by one and they're all the same card. But like, okay,
That's reaching.
Yeah. The curator gives you some very good hints in Man of Medan.
okay. Well, I didn't take his hints. He'd offer me hints like twice or 3 times, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel insulted. I don't feel like my time has been completely wasted. Like I read some other people's responses. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't crazy. And then I found that picture of the demon, and somebody was like, "What the fuck was this then?" And I'm like, "Yep, all right, cool." And they're like, "Well, you see that after the crash." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's clearly what happened because I can visit the house and it's burned." Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, don't play that game.
All right.
Or start with it and work your way up.
Yeah. Work your way up to the king, which is Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
All right. So that's it for this week. We get through 1 week of 2021. Next week is the big one, y'all. You'll turn in for some Game of the Year awards.
If John joins us, it'll be 3 hours long.
I mean, that's how Game of the Year goes. That's how the world works.
Dude, I don't even know if I can come up with 10 games.
But we'll be doing that next week. If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at N4G Podcast. I am at ZTGD. Drew is at Drew Leachman. Ryan is at Wombat RP. And you can follow the site at ZTGD Content. Check out Phoenix Down. Zelda Ocarina of Time, first game for 2021, which means it's going to be a good year for Phoenix Down.
Yes.
Also, if you want to shoot us emails, podcasts at ztgd.com. Shoot us an email. Tell us how your 2021 is going so far. We look forward to new consoles, new games, and of course, Cyberpunk being finished. But unless anybody has anything else, I am done for this episode. I'm going to get on out of y'all. Peace, bitch.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
always being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.